so much going on in Ireland now, it's changing so much and it's hard to keep up with it. I said I'm going to do some work on the housing crisis. I'm no longer going to run for local council or be involved in local politics in any way, because I had to remove myself from that because it's such an old, broken system. So I'm not going to waste my time and energy. But all the chatter going on around the place now, I'm not getting involved. I'm not saying anything because I want to focus on the housing crisis. I've got ADHD and I have 101 things going on like anybody with ADHD, and I'm just tying up the loose ends. I put some work into this before with various ideas around how we can do something, the people can do something about the housing crisis, and that's what I'm going to stay focused on now. I'm going to give it at least 4 hours a week, you know, as a good Christian, tithe your income. That's what they say, you know, you should be giving a tenth of your income to the cause. So many people in Ireland saying they're good Christians, but I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing the churches are empty. People are just not practicing the faith anymore, but people are saying what, you know, how strong the Christianity is in this country. I'm just not seeing it on the ground. Our country is in crisis, you know, it's a housing crisis, emergency as far as I'm concerned, and if there was an emergency such as war or anything, you know, we would be down in the trenches, we would be providing food and shelter, which I'm not seeing enough of that at all. So down in the trenches, and for me, I'm going to probably live stream, you know, an hour's work in hour blocks, 4 hours a week, and try to get people involved, maybe live Zoom calls and group calls if people want to get involved. I said I just want to get the idea and my concept down on paper. One thing I'll just say, on the new easing of the law on back garden developments, I want to fully utilise this. I want people who wouldn't know where to begin to say, look, I have a piece of land here that's not being used in my back garden, I could do with an extra few bob, and then we just get in there, build a tiny modular home, and, you know, basically get a good tenant in there and manage the tenancy. Manage the tenancies and, you know, get people in there. And then if there's people looking Monday to Friday for digs, then we would basically Airbnb the unit on the weekend and make as much money as possible for the homeowner, but also providing either student accommodation or full-time accommodation for somebody who just wants to start out in a micro home, 25 to 33 metres square, and to look at other solutions as well. So I'm kind of a lot in my head, somebody with ADHD, all this shit going on, need to get all this down on paper. I have the website dublinreal.com. I haven't actually developed that yet, but I want to put all the ideas up here of other ideas as well, and I want to get into social entrepreneurship. So this is a social enterprise, and I've applied for grants before, different things over the years to try get something going with housing, and I'm not seeing anything at all going in the housing in this kind of area to get people back to Ireland, people who want to come back to Ireland, people who have skills that we need here, builders, nurses, and ensure the same that they're not leaving the country in the first instance. So there's a lot to be done, and I know my time won't be wasted, and I feel like my last 5 years have been really good because I met somebody I really love, and we're here today getting a tattoo. You know, we got one when we first started going out, so having a nice day, just wait for her to get hers done. And it's like I'm just reflecting on the good 5 years that we've had, and I want to have a really meaningful and impactful next 5 years ahead. So yeah, I'm very, very excited about that. So just having a little walk around Dublin, and you know, Ireland is, you know, on a downward spiral as far as I'm concerned. There is a lot to be done, and it seems like a lot of people are waiting for the government to do something. It's not going to happen. It never did happen before, not with this show we're in. So we got to do the work ourselves, and that's why I said I'm focusing now on doing something with the housing crisis, with other like-minded people, and staying out of all the other stuff. I'm not subscribing to a broken system anymore and running to get a seat on the local council. It's very hard for a Santry man anyway, because the area is divided across 2 local authorities and it's only a small area, so you're competing with people who have the name of Ballymun and Finglas, and it's not even competing with them. As I said, it's a broken system, and all my posters are being put up, so no desire to do it again. So just coming up to the 5-minute mark, if you made it to the end, if you want to connect with me about housing and, you know, you're interested, you're a builder, you're, you know, you have the land, you have a piece of land in your back garden that you want to utilise, and even I'm thinking with people who live in terrace houses, if it was, say, 2 elderly people, for example, living next door, we could utilise one side entrance there and get as many people involved as possible, and get as many people home as possible who want to come home but can't because there's just no room. There's no houses, there's nothing. This country is, we're going up dire straits.